The key to an optimal learning environment is ensuring that the learning environment itself is a safe space for students to engage in the learning process. One way to create this safe space is to lead by example, especially during moments of tension. For example, if there is a conflict between two students, you as the teacher must ensure that you diffuse the situation in a calm manner. It doesn't help if the adult figure in the room is yelling at the students or berating them, because now it's just going to escalate into much more riskier behaviors that could possibly escalate into something that's going to be out of control and harm or damage students or property or other humans. One can also lead by example by embracing the fact that we all make mistakes. We are human. So embracing the fact that you as the teacher made a mistake and owning up to it. It's like, hi, I made a mistake. Let's move on. I'm going to learn from it. And students more often than not are pretty empathetic of that fact and are very thankfully pretty understanding, at least from my anecdotal experience. You also can create a safe learning environment by celebrating achievements, no matter how small or big. For example, if a student with autistic tendencies somehow is able to make their first note on the flute, you make a huge deal out of that. Like, yes, you got that flute sound. Yes, you were able to get that sound. Or celebrating a whole class achievement on learning how to play a song correctly by themselves. Like, yeah, a group of students, learned how to sing this song with good pitch, good rhythm, and accurate lyric. And yeah, we celebrate that. Celebrate them through positive reinforcements, verbal, or even material rewards, such as a behavioral ticket, or like what we call a tiger ticket in our school here. We also want to make sure that when you create a safe learning environment, we want to make sure that our classroom walls, curriculum, songs, and content should be reflective of the students' diverse interests and backgrounds, and ensuring that there are opportunities for student-centered learning. So one of the ways that we can create a safe learning environment is giving students opportunities for student-centered learning. In essence, meaning students have control over what they can choose to learn. An example of a student-centered learning environment in my particular case is when I have the modern band program or the modern band classes, I let students decide, all right, who's going to play the drums? Who's going to play the keyboards? Who's going to play the guitar? Who's going to play the ukulele? Who's going to play the bass? Who's going to sing? Giving the students opportunities to pick their instruments is one example of student-centered learning. And then also having them have the agency to choose songs within certain parameters. For example, I would give students, here is a list of school acceptable songs that we can try to perform. What do you want? Or a student can come up to me, hey, Mr. Villanueva, I have this song that I want to try out with the class. Can you run it by me and make sure that it's school appropriate? And validating a student's taste in music is really crucial in creating a safe learning environment so that the students feel safe to confide in you. And not only that, it also helps to embrace diverse tastes in music. For example, I had a student that showed me a whole bunch of really interesting hard rock songs. And while the hard rock songs were a little bit above the ability level of my students at the moment in time when she asked me, the fact that I was open to listening to the song in the first place is what allowed the student to feel emboldened, more empowered to take risks in my classroom. And that same student went on to become one of my best guitar players in the school. A way to ensure a safe learning environment in the music classroom is starting with music and ending with music. So I always start off the class with a hello song or like a hello jingle. Like, hello music makers, or good morning music makers. And they respond with, good morning Mr. Villanueva or Mr. V. And always ending it with a goodbye, like, have a good day. Okay, bye. And that's like the simplest way to start and end a class with music. And the ultimate way to ensure a safe learning environment is to get to know the students. While there is this challenge with having over 600 students under my care, as I teach every single student in the school, I make the effort to get to know the students on an individual level, understanding if a student has an interest in dinosaurs, or if a student is just really into rock music, or if there's a particular student that's like, Mr. Villanueva, I'm really into video game music. And thankfully, as somebody who is also engaged in video gaming on more ways than one, I have a special connection with students who are particularly involved with video game expressions and music. Getting to know the students on that individual level allows exploration of abilities and exploration of interests. And getting to know the individual will lead into understanding the class as a whole and understanding how certain students work with other students and how certain whole class dynamics occur. Especially when we have students that have particular specific obstacles or specific needs that need to be addressed or fulfilled, I'm able to provide that satiation of need through differentiated and adaptive instruction, and allowing other students that don't quite that need the support, allow them the independent opportunities to do their own student-centered learning. And I take into consideration individual needs and whole class instruction with song selection and instrument selection and the beauty of all that put together, and we get a safe, constructive learning environment where students can have fun but also grow themselves musically, academically, and as human beings.